And that is crazy to me. They can sleep with me whenever they want. They can do whatever they want, and then they can go away without any repercussions. Hi everyone, my name is Gigi, and welcome back to my little cozy corner of the internet. Today's video, we're going to be chatting about love. Now, I am a lover girl through and through. I love love. But there is something about love that I feel like doesn't mean the same thing anymore, especially these days with the society that we live in and the cultures that surround dating and marriage. I feel like love has lost all meaning apart from to a few people. And as someone who loves love, it's really scary being a person that loves love in today's society with the standards and expectations around relationships. So I wanted to sit down today, literally on my floor, and talk about it because I feel like this is a subject that doesn't really get touched on a whole lot. And I feel like we need to be more aware of it because I, over time, have been realizing it more and more and more with TikTok and YouTube, these story times coming out of people breaking up for certain reasons, drama surrounding situationships, and cheating story times, and it blows my mind every single time. Because it feels more common to have a failed relationship than one that actually works, and one that's actually true. I honestly feel like in this day and age, we have forgotten what love is. And I'm not talking about, oh, I love this, I'm obsessed with this. I'm talking about actually what loving a person is. Because love is not just love, it's not just the feeling, but it's so much more. It's the idea that you're willing to do anything for a person, that you're willing to care for a person, that you're willing to support a person, that you're willing to grow alongside a person, that you're willing to change for a person. Loving someone isn't just butterflies. Loving someone isn't just love. It's so much more than that. And honestly, I feel like we've lost what that is. I feel like today's age of people, my age especially, maybe a little bit older and a little bit younger as well, but we have lost what it means to love. And that is terrifying to me because what do you mean we've lost what it means to love? We now misunderstand love. Now, I'm not saying that the first person you meet should be the person that you love for the rest of your life and you never meet anyone else and it works out the first time, because that's just not realistic. But it's the way relationships are ending. It's not because people just aren't compatible. It's the fact is that people seem to be misunderstanding what being in a relationship is in the first place. They seem to be misunderstanding boundaries, what it means to care for someone, what it means to support someone, and how that can look like. And it's gotten to the point where I've even myself thought this, but also heard so many other people say they're single, they don't even want to try anymore. They don't even want to attempt to get with someone. When I was single, the idea of starting over again, getting to know someone, I literally said multiple times, I would rather die than try and get into a relationship with someone else because I couldn't fathom the idea of trying to find someone who actually wants a true, real relationship in this day and age, who will stay loyal, who will actually love me the way that I will love them. Because I understand love, I understand what it means to care for people and to understand people and to work through things, to support people, to actually love. But a lot of people, they don't. Actually, very few people know how to truly love and be with someone else. And I couldn't be bothered. I was actually afraid of the idea of putting myself out there because of the idea of going through so many more trials just to find someone who thinks the same way, who's actually emotionally mature enough to think the same way. And honestly, I believe that the reason love is so different these days is because of things like social media and dating apps. I mean, think about it. If you're sitting on your phone, usually a lot of us for hours a day going through Instagram and TikTok, we're seeing reels and TikToks of couples. And we set these expectations for ourselves, but we also see the bad side of it. We see the story times of cheaters. We see the toxic relationships and abuse. And on top of that, there's literal dating apps, catalogs of people where you swipe through and choose who are you most attracted to. It's not the same as meeting people in real life, having a few dates, that organic growth of a relationship, but you're literally searching through a catalog of people to find the one that you think visually looks the most attractive. And then hopefully you find enough out about them to go on a date with them. But even then, a lot of dating apps, they're not dating apps. They're just hookup apps. People searching for something quick, something easy. The idea that there is so much choice, so many people, who's the most attractive? You can have 3, 4, 5 people at the same time you're giving your attention to because you don't want to choose straight away. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Relationships and bonding with people start to feel more disposable because you can literally pick and choose whoever you want. I don't know if any Brits around my age remember this, but the Argos catalogue, when it was Christmas and circling the things that you wanted out of all the pages of toys, it's literally the same thing. You're picking your favorites out of a pool of people. And a lot of the time, it's not for something serious, it's just for some fun. The idea of getting into a relationship, it's less about love, it's less about connection, but more about experience. What can you get out of that relationship? To me, it feels more and more like the idea of love is just that, an idea, a concept. And that concept is weak. Its boundaries are very thin. And because of that, culture and society has changed what relationships are. I mean, if you think about it, people will literally sleep with people and then never speak to them again. We're literally talking about giving your most valuable possession, yourself, your body, the thing that literally keeps you alive on the daily, the thing that you only have one of, and if that stops working, you cease to exist. Yet you're so easily giving it away to other men, sometimes multiple men in 1 week, simply for the culture of, well, I want to have sex. I want to feel pleasure. I want that validation. And then there's situationships. The idea of kind of being in a relationship with someone, but it's not that serious. Kind of getting to know someone, but you can also go and know 5 other people if you want to. The idea of getting butterflies, maybe developing a bit of a crush on them, but it'll never go further than that. Society is starting to teach younger people that it is completely okay to give a person complete access to them and then completely disrespect them when they're no longer needed in life. They don't need the sex anymore, or the sex is better somewhere else. They don't need the company anymore because they found better company in another girl somewhere else. The idea of commitment is getting less and less important to people, and that is crazy to me. Like I said at the start, I love love. I love the idea of being in a relationship with someone, sharing my life with someone, getting married, and settling down. The idea that I am giving someone access to me, all of me, my body, my mindset, my energy, my time. And you want me to follow this concept of anyone can have that? Anyone can take that whenever they want out of a pool of a million other people. They can sleep with me whenever they want. They can do whatever they want, and then they can go away without any repercussions. That is crazy to me. And it's not something that I will ever do. The most important thing to me, and the most important thing to anyone who ever is watching this, should be yourself. Should be protecting yourself, loving yourself, and respecting your own body and brain. Not everyone deserves access to you. No matter how tempted, no matter how desperate, you should not be desperate. I feel like these days, the idea of commitment has just left the building. There is no such thing as commitment anymore. So many people will get into relationships, if they even get that far past the simple hookups and the random situationships. If people actually get to the point when they're in a relationship, it's still not a commitment because one of them will go off and cheat. One of them will overstep a boundary because to them, the boundaries are not that important because they cannot commit. And it's honestly so crazy to me, the idea of cheating. Like, in my head, I can't think of, even in my worst moments in life, I could not think of cheating on someone because it's so easily avoidable. And if you don't hear anything else from this video and you only hear this, you can leave. You can literally leave. If you are so unhappy in a relationship that you're starting to form relationships out of that, you're forming feelings for someone else out of that, why haven't you left? It's a genuine question because I feel like there is no reason to cheat. If you are not happy, why haven't you left that person? It doesn't make sense to me. It will never make sense to me. I've heard people use the excuse of, well, I was just so confused and lost in life and I just did it and I felt really bad. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I have literally been rock bottom, the most confused I've ever been, feeling like my worst version of myself. Literally battling with the worst inner demons I could think of. And you know what I didn't do? I didn't hurt anyone else. I did not cheat on anyone. I did not get into a relationship, become unhappy, and rather than breaking up with someone, I went and cheated. To me, there is literally no other reason. There is not a reason. If you cheat, you're just a shitty person. And it's not because of your mental health or your situation. You're just a shitty person. And I'm sorry for my language, but it's the truth. But cheating has become so normalized. It actually has become normalized. And you hear about it so often. In fact, a lot of relationships these days end with cheating because for some reason that value of commitment, it was never there. It never existed within that relationship. The idea of love was misunderstood. You thought you were in love, you thought you had the same values, and someone broke it. And they broke it because that value of commitment was not important to them. It was never important to them. And for a lot of people, it never will be important to them. Men get praised for the idea of how many women they've slept with, how easy it is for them to simply go and find a girl who they find attractive and sleep with them. And that is the same whether they're single or in a relationship. A girl will be praised for cheating back after her boyfriend has cheated on her because people see it as getting even. These are the behaviors that we're encouraging. Dishonesty, disloyalty, disrespect. And I say this a lot in my videos, especially when it comes to my upgrading your mindset videos. But you cannot live true to yourself and say that you love yourself and you respect yourself if you're disrespecting other people. It just doesn't work like that. You cannot love someone else if you do not know what loving yourself is. If you do not know what love is, the boundaries of love, truly what it means to love someone, you cannot love. It's as simple as that. And if you do not know that, why are people promising commitment, loyalty, when they don't even understand what it means? Now, I'm not sure if this is just because we're becoming more aware of it these days, or whether this has always been a human nature. The idea that people simply cannot be with just one person for the rest of their lives, that they will forever search for something else, the idea of something better being out there for them, the idea that after a while things get boring, things become normal. And I hate that. As a lover girl, I hate that, because when I love someone, I really love them. I will put my everything into that person because I believe that is what love is. Love means you are there for that person. You share energy with that person. You share respect, your time, your effort. You don't just sit and go, hey, I love you, and that's it. Buy some flowers, spend money on them, do this, do that, plan dates. It is so much more than that. But in today's society, it seems like going on a date, buying some flowers, saying I love you, which, by the way, saying that in general is a taboo subject. In fact, it's almost scary for a lot of people to say I love you to someone. People think it's scary to express admiration for someone. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that terrifying? That we literally struggle to tell people that we love them because we think it's too much. To me, it is terrifying, the idea that this is normal, that cheating is expected, that people have lost trust in relationships because they expect things to happen. They expect the worst out of people. That people do not understand the idea of love. True love. Not what the internet shows us. Not what the dating apps are pushing. Not just having sex or finding someone attractive. Anyway, that is all from me today. I hope you have enjoyed this slightly different style of video. I feel like for my Womanhood Unfiltered series, I wanted to be a bit more personal and a bit more like a bestie chatting with a bestie, right? That's why we're on the floor. So if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more like this. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!